Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I just want to confirm that you can hear me well.
Yeah, the sound is clear and your presentation is clear here, your PowerPoint, yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. So once more time, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are right now around the globe. Our speech today, I would like to start first of all by thanking everyone at Garadia University for organizing this conference, especially Dr. Yahya for the kind invitation. And I'm very happy that my speech comes after that of Professors Halima, because it's a fantastic lineup. So my speech is going to be about integrating ChatGPT to transform EFL students' academic writing. And I'm going to report on a small-scale action research that I've conducted in one of my classes. And our agenda is going to be like this. So we're going to talk about writing challenges. We're going to talk about the characteristics of constructive feedback.
Dr. Mahmoud, your slides are moving. Now it's clear, yes.
Is it now? Is it well now?
Yeah, it's moving now, yeah, it's clear.
Okay. Sorry. What about now?
It's clear. You are in the second slide, yeah?
Is it moving now?
It's clear, Dr. Mahmoud.
Okay. And it's moving, Dr. Walid, right? Dr. Fatima.
Yes, but I think you might need to maximize it.
Okay, just a second.
You need to click the slideshow at the bottom right.
Yeah, that's...
Yes, this one.
Okay, so that's, again, we're going to talk about writing challenges, and then we'll touch upon the characteristics of constructive feedback, and then we're going to move on to talk a bit about ChatGPT itself, and then we're going to talk about the context of the small action research, and then I'm going to present a sample of a chat that happened between some students and ChatGPT, and some reflections of the students on ChatGPT's feedback. And of course, I'm going to finish off with some recommendations. Excuse me? Is everything going well?
Yes, it's fine, Doctor. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wali. Okay, so I'm going to start with writing challenges. So writing is one of the most important skills, but it poses a lot of challenges to two of the main stakeholders, educators on one hand and students on the other hand. So these challenges for educators, educators always have challenges with providing effective feedback, and also time, effort, and subjectivity. So these are the main challenges that come up with writing on the side of educators. But when it comes to students, they have also their own challenges with writing. So number one is motivation, anxiety, time, effort, and getting feedback. So here are the main challenges for both parties, educators and students. Right, so if we think about the main characteristics of feedback as outlined by Haiti, Timberley, and Shatter. So here are the main characteristics. So the first one, feedback has to be individualized. So it has to be different from one student to another. And it has to be task specific. So it cannot be generic. So it has to be very much related to what students are doing at the moment. And
Dr. Mahmoud, the slides are frozen. Could you please kindly click the, as I mentioned, the slideshow button at the right? The bottom right?
Yeah, it's on show mode.
No, it's not reflecting here. We still see the agenda on the screen.
Oh.
Could you please unshare and then share? Now it's okay. It's moved now.
Yeah, but now it's not showing.
Now we see the characteristics.
Okay. So I'm afraid it's going to be like all at once. All at once. But okay. So let's go with this just for the sake of time. So we talked about feedback that have to be individual and has to be task specific, goal oriented, and also the feedback has to be selective. So teachers have to select main features of a student's work, not to be very comprehensive. And also feedback has to be timely. So it cannot be after like days or weeks of a student's work. Also feedback has to be varied. So it could be in a written form, on a spoken form, maybe nowadays could be emojis. Right? Also feedback has to provide students with actionable plan. And finally, feedback has to be respectable for all the students. Okay. Right. So as you can see, all these characteristics for effective feedback is really challenging for a student, for teachers to give all this to students. But at the same time, students do need them. Okay. So that's why ChatGPT comes into place. So here we're talking about the benefits that ChatGPT can offer. So with ChatGPT, learners can work at their own pace. So also they can receive immediate and individualized feedback. With ChatGPT, the element of teacher watching them and maybe just instructing them is not there. So it's just them and their computer or mobile phone. Also, ChatGPT can boost their motivation. And here also ChatGPT can work like a scaffold that helps students to close the gap between their current level and their desired levels. Finally, ChatGPT can act as an AI virtual peer. It's like a friend wherever and whenever you need them. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the context of the action research that I've done. So it happened here in Saudi Arabia at one of the universities here in Saudi Arabia, and it was in an EFL first year university students, and the students were studying a course called 120, and according to the EFR, it's B1 according to the CFR level. And these students are studying English for for medical purposes. And they study like 3 strands. One of them is writing strand. So they study 5 hours a week writing. And in this writing, they start writing from a paragraph and they end up writing essays. Yeah. So with this experiment, we started working in groups and then we ended up working individually. So of course, throughout the intervention, the students were given orientation session about using ChatGPT ethically. Again, touching upon the ideas that Professor Halim has talked about earlier. Okay, and ChatGPT, as I think we all know, allegedly knows everything. So our job, or to get the best out of ChatGPT, is to tell it, who am I and who you are as a ChatGPT. So I asked the students to tell this to ChatGPT. I'm an English, you are an expert English language teacher, okay? And I am a student who studied English as a second language or as a foreign language. And my level is B1 or B2, so it's open for students. And please, Mr. ChatGPT, I need your feedback on my work, either a paragraph or an essay. So here I'm going to show you a sample of the conversation that happened between a student and ChatGPT. So as we can see here, the student started saying, ChatGPT, you are an expert academic English teacher. I need, and I am C1. So the student believes that he's a C1 student. And the ChatGPT answers, yeah, I'm happily here to help you with anything like grammar, writing, reading, and stuff. So students went on saying, okay, I want you to give me feedback on this paragraph, please. Yeah, and then the student provided ChatGPT with the paragraph, with his paragraph. And here, as we can see, this is the feedback that ChatGPT generated in no time. Touching upon, so first of all, he touched upon the positive things that, okay, your paragraph provides solid overview of diabetes and its types, and these are the good things, but you can work on these elements. And he provided some suggestions in terms of structure, clarity, repetition, and transitions, precision, and grammar as well. And as you can see, just for the sake of time, I won't read everything. So students said, okay, thank you very much for this feedback, but can you provide me with an improved version of this paragraph? How can you give me like a refined version? So ChatGPT, again, in a second, gave him this paragraph. Of course, this paragraph is tweaked from a student's paragraph, yeah? And of course, this happened with students into groups or individually. So what I was really interested in is that the reflection of the students on ChatGPT's feedback, because as John Dewey say, we don't learn from experience, but we actually learn from reflecting on this experience. Okay, right. So again, here I'm going to show you some examples, again, just for the sake of time, some examples of students' reflection. So after reading ChatGPT's feedback on their paragraph, group 2 came up with a note saying this. So I'll leave it for half a minute for you to read. Is that clear?
The slide is small, Dr. Mahmoud. We can't read it.
You can't read it. What about now?
A little bit better, yes.
Okay.
If you can zoom in more, it will be better.
I don't know what's going on.